Juggling is not an easy thing. That is why Alexa, who is a professional, gets paid $100 an hour when she works at her family's carnival. She knows that certain things need to happen in order. Throwing twice in a row with the same hand won't work as well as alternating. She's good at keeping track of the sequence of events. The sequence of events for solving two-step equations is this. Step 1, do the inverse operation of addition or subtraction. Step 2, do the inverse operation of multiplication or division. Step 3, substitute the solution into the original equation to check your work. So, this problem has multiplication here, so let's not do that first. Let's get rid of that 3 first. By subtracting 3 from both sides, keep it in balance, 2x equals 2. Now this is multiplication, so undo it by dividing it. X equals 1. Put 1 into the original equation. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. Yes. Subtract 12 on both sides. Negative 4x equals 8. Divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4 on both sides. X equals negative 2. Substitute negative 2 into the original equation. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 8. 8 plus 12 is 20. Subtract 5 on both sides. 3x equals negative 12. Divide by 3. X equals negative 4. Substitute negative 4 into the original equation. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7. Subtract 6 on both sides. 2x equals 4. Divide by 2. X equals 2. Substitute it into the original equation and check. 2 times 2 is 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. Subtract 7 on both sides. Negative 5x equals 25. Divide by negative 5 on both sides. X equals negative 5. Substitute that into the original equation and check. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. 25 plus 7 is 32. Subtract 4 on both sides. 4x equals negative 16. Divide by 4. X equals negative 4. Substitute negative 4 into the original. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus 4 is negative 12. Your next set of problems is here. We need to add 3 on both sides. This time, these cancel. 2x equals 8. Divide by 2 on both sides. X equals 4. Check it. 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 3 plus 8 is positive 5. Add 12 on both sides. These drop. Negative 7x equals 35. Divide by negative 7. X equals negative 5. Substitute negative 5 in. Negative 7 times negative 5 is positive 35. 35 minus 12 is 23. Add 4 on both sides. 6x equals negative 30. Divide by 6. X equals negative 5. Substitute negative 5 in. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Negative 30 minus 4 is negative 34. Add 6 on both sides. 4x equals 16. Divide by 4. X equals 4. Substitute 4 in. See if it works. 4 times 4 is 16. Negative 6 plus 16 is positive 10. Add 7 on both sides. Negative 8x equals 56. Divide by negative 8 on both sides. X equals negative 7. Substitute negative 7 in. Negative 8 times negative 7 is positive 56. 56 minus 7 is 49. Add 4 on both sides. 3x equals negative 6. Divide by 3. X equals negative 2. Substitute negative 2 in. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. Here are your next problems. We need to undo addition or subtraction first by doing the inverse operation. Means you subtract by 8 on both sides. Negative x over 6 equals 2. This is division right here. It's x divided by 6. So let's do multiplication by 6 on both sides. But let's multiply by negative 6, and we'll make the negative go away at the same time. The negatives cancel, the divided by 6, the times by 6 cancel. X equals negative 12. Substitute negative 12 in and see if it works. Negative 12. Okay, so there's two negatives, 1, 2, and those two negatives cancel. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 plus 8 is 10. Add 5 on both sides. X over 2 equals 22 times by 2 on both sides. These cancel. X equals 44. Substitute 44 into the original equation. 44 divided by 2 is 22. 22 minus 5 is 17. Subtract by 12 on both sides. X over negative 8 equals 10. Multiply both sides by negative 8. These cancel. X equals negative 80. Substitute negative 80 into the original. Negative 80 divided by negative 8 is positive 10. 10 plus 12 is 22. Subtract 4 on both sides. X over 3. These cancel, equals 3. Multiply both sides by negative 3. You've isolated your variable, and it equals negative 9. Substitute negative 9 into the original equation. So these two negatives actually cancel. So it's actually negative 9 divided by negative 3, but then it's negative 3, but then this negative cancels that. So it's positive 3 plus 4 equals 7. Add 3 to both sides. X over 4 equals 11. Multiply by 4 on both sides. This cancels. X equals 44. Substitute 44 into the original equation and see if it works. 44 divided by 4 is 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. Subtract 9 on both sides. X over negative 4 is 7. Multiply by negative 4 on both sides. These cancel. X equals negative 28. Substitute negative 28 in here. Negative 28 divided by negative 4 is positive 7. 7 plus 9 is 16. Here are your next problems, last problems of this assignment. So when you're solving two-step equations and there's a fraction in them, undo addition and subtraction first, and then remember, when you are working with fractions, remember to multiply by their reciprocal. So let's subtract 8 from both sides. Negative 5 over 6x equals 15. So multiply both sides by negative 6 over 5. Keep, change, flip. So multiply by the reciprocal is the same as dividing by a fraction. Dividing by a fraction is keep, change, flip. Cross cancel, that becomes 1, that becomes a 3. 3 times 6, negative 6 is negative 18. All this canceled. The negatives canceled also. Negative 18 goes right here. The negatives cancel. The 18 and the 6 cancel. 6 is a 1. That becomes a 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 8 is 23. Add 5 to both sides. 6 over 7x equals 24. Multiply by the reciprocal. That becomes a 1. Cross cancel and make that a 4 and that a 1. All this cancels out. X equals 28. Put 28 into the original equation. 28 over 1. That cancels to be a 4, and that'll be a 1. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 minus 5 is 19. Subtract 8 on both sides. 7 over negative 9x equals 14. Multiply both sides by negative 9 over 7. Multiply by negative 9 over 7. All this cancels. The negatives cancel. That cancels to a 1. That cancels to a 2. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. Put negative 18 in here. Over 1. The negatives cancel. The 9 turns into a 1. 18 into a 2. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 8 is 22. Subtract 4 on both sides. Negative 3/5 x equals 27. Multiply both sides by negative 5/3. All this cancels. Negatives cancel. You've isolated the variable. 1 here, 9 here. 9 times negative 5 is negative 45. Substitute negative 45 into the original equation. The negatives cancel. Cross cancel. Negative 3 times 9, the negatives already cancel. 3 times 9 is 27. 27 plus 4 is 31. Add 3 to both sides. 3 over 4x equals 12. Multiply both sides by 4/3. Cancel, all this cancels. Cross cancel, get a 1 and a 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Put 16 back in the original equation and see if it works. Cancel, got a 1 and then a 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. Subtract 9 from both sides. 2 over negative 3x equals 15 minus 9 is 6. Multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. Keep it negative also. So multiplying by negative 3 over 2. All this cancels and the negative cancels. X equals, so cancel the 6 and the 2. That becomes a 1. That becomes a 3. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Substitute negative 9 in here for the variable in the original equation. Cancel the negatives. Cross cancel the 3 becomes a 1. That becomes a 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 9 is 15.